good afternoon and welcome to the show. You're listening to Way Out Radio on Kane 103.7 FM, and today we're very happy and privileged because we're very blessed to have the incredible Autarchii with us today, live from Jamaica. How you doing, my friend?
Much love and respect every time, Paula. Yeah, man, all is great, giving thanks for life.
Yes, definitely. So you're an incredible artist from Jamaica. You've toured in different places. You've been to Canada, you've been to Kenya. Where else have you been?
Well, for the most part, I've just been how would I say now, different states throughout USA besides Canada and Kenya. And this year was supposed to be the main year that we would venture into Europe and different places. But unfortunately, we all know that the pandemic struck, so that kind of took a toll. It took a toll on the whole tour vibration.
Yeah, definitely. So, have you used the time to like reflect and like write more songs? How have you sort of responded to the breaks being thrown on your plans there?
Well, we've responded tremendously, believe me, because
Excellent.
currently I have like around 40, more than 40 unreleased songs right now. We've been
Wow.
writing, we've been practicing, we've been in the studio coming up with trying to devise plans so that every single thing can work once the place is open again. So we've been using this time to just really reflect and make sure that the mission is tight and the professionalism maintains within the music, even when the people can't see us directly, they can still feel the energy that we're coming with.
Definitely. And so 40 songs, that's a lot of songs. I mean, have you seen your songwriting style change over this year? What have you been writing about?
I wouldn't say change still. I would more say I've been including a lot more ballads because
Oh,
I'm
cool.
not necessarily the one to do a lot of love songs, but most people know me for a revolutionary persona. But
Yeah.
besides that revolutionary persona, I've ventured into a lot of different ballads. I've actually slowed down a bit of the lyrics and a few of them, trying to make sure that there's more melody in between. So there's just an addition of different styles, but it's still the same roots reggae vibration, but just with different tones or probably a few different octaves too.
Yeah, amazing. So, your name is very important to what you do and who you are, meaning like absolute rule of power, and that was given to you by your cousin. So, you want to tell us a bit about that?
All right. So formally, I say my cousin because he was the one I was around. But originally, I was in New York, and while there, I was just looking through the dictionary because sometimes I just look through the dictionary to try to improve my
Yeah, man,
vocabulary.
nice. That's what Eminem used to do, and a lot of rappers, musicians, artists. I saw when I write for magazines and stuff, then
Mhm.
I just start to review albums, and I think I've said that before, and I just flick through the dictionary, thesaurus. I'm like, I need some new vocabulary. That's a beautiful thing to do.
Yeah, of course, because when you're talking, you have to trying to know different ways how to present yourself too. And even in the lyrics, people like to hear like a few metaphors and the similes that include those words that you use too. So you actually teach them those new words while you learn them. So
Yeah,
I was just there looking through the dictionary and I stumbled upon this word. It's spelled Autarchy, but I just changed it to I to represent Rastafari because Rastafari say I and I, meaning whatever my brothers and sisters feel, I feel also. And I basically just said the word to them and they were like, okay, this name suits you because you have a revolutionary persona, you have an independent and a self-sufficient persona. So you can move with that name, Autarchii. And from then it just traveled.
nice, man. That's awesome. So tell me a bit about how you came to be known as someone with a revolutionary persona. I mean, that's like a powerful statement, and that's something I'm really interested to find out more about.
All right, so I've always been a rebellious one by nature, because
Rude
I
boy.
just can't stand injustices. So, but how would I put this now? My revolutionary persona got more structured once I started to increase my knowledge. So with my increasing of knowledge, I started to put a direct light towards it, where I realized that this struggle can't just my people can't just be in the struggle by themselves. I have to be the one to lead by example, make sure that there's a aim, and make sure I have a direction. So even if I sing about positivity, I can just sing about it. Because singing
Yeah.
about it and not being the active change is it's like it's contradicting. It's somewhat of an oxymoron. So I decided to just live like that, make sure there was community development work being done. Since I'm from the area that they call a ghetto inner city, where it's sometimes some form of dilapidation. So I tried my best to just direct that path and make sure that there is an aim and I can lead towards the advancement of my people. That's how the revolutionary persona got a direction.
Yeah, definitely. Amazing. And yeah, I mean, you mentioned there about a place of dilapidation and that you in your music reflect on that sort of like concept. I mean, tell me a bit about the state of your experience in Jamaica right now. Where is there dilapidation and where is there like progress?
All right. When it comes to Jamaica, there's a few different aspects of it. So there's a good Jamaica where a lot of people see the sunshine and the beaches and they
Yeah,
think
yeah.
about the tourist board that's presented to them. But
And the
then there's
patties, the music,
yeah. So it just seems like
ackee.
a fairy tale world to many, but really and truly, there's a thing that needs to be discussed. There's like a big elephant in the room that needs to be discussed. Like, why is the crime so high? Why is the people caught up in the sense of gangsterism, caught up in double standards? And that's where we come in to try just put a direction on that, because most youths, it's not just about poverty. So I don't want anybody to think that it's just about poverty. Poverty is not the only reason why the violence and the crime rate is so high. It's
Yeah,
because the gangsterism is placed in front of most of the youth. So they see it as cool. It's a form of trend. It's a form of style. So most youth kind of give in to that. And that's what leads to the deterioration of the place on a physical aspect and both a mental aspect. And that's
mm,
leading towards the downfall of the people, so to speak, right here.
yeah, yeah, definitely. And like, I mean, I was kind of thinking about the idea of like the war on drugs and how like a gangster can or somebody with those kind of tendencies could become see that as an easy path like to like buy and sell drugs and be a dealer because they might be uneducated and they might think I could work this job and make this much an hour or I could make hundreds of dollars doing something illegal. And so I know like a few years ago cannabis became legal in a lot of places in America, and
Mhm.
then that led to like Jamaica being able to make it legal as well. So has that changed Jamaica a lot?
It's actually not legal in Jamaica still. So
Oh, is it
it's only
not?
it's decriminalized in Jamaica.
Decriminalized.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay.
so
My
and
bad.
it's you still have to have like a license so you can actually sell marijuana. But the way how the license is structured is not like the average person in society can go and apply for a marijuana license, because it's a millions of dollars too. So
Really?
it still forces the corporation to take control of that, or people who are up in the higher echelon of society to still control that and dominate it. So the people still don't get the gains from it. It's
Mm,
some form of a progress, because there
mm,
can be youths who have an economic independence and rise up and come collectively and start a cannabis place for recreation or medicinal purposes. But
yeah,
the broader society don't focus on that, because there's still marijuana fields being burnt in Jamaica at the
really.
same time,
Yeah.
because these ones are not grown legally according to their standards, and it's not
Okay.
being put into place and perspective as how it would benefit everybody. So it's still a major problem that needs to be discussed. And
Yeah.
Jamaica as a country that has so much debt, they need to look into this and stop being so fearful. You know?
Yeah. So is it the police burning down the marijuana fields, you saying?
Yeah, of course,
Wow.
because they're working off the orders of the system.
Yeah, man, 10 minutes into the interview, dropping bombs like this, man, it's crazy. All right. I don't want to steal, let politics or any of that like steal your
Mhm.
limelight. I want to talk
Yeah.
about you. So let's talk about, Inner Circle, Horace Andy, Anthony B, the Mighty Diamonds. You've opened for all of these amazing artists. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm honored. I'm honored. So while I was in Montreal, I was invited to the Montreal Reggae Festival. I think it was the year 2017 when I released my first album, Land of the Free.
Yeah,
I got
yeah,
the opportunity to open for Sanchez and Inner Circle, which was my privilege. Um, and then in New York, because I'm back and forth between Jamaica and New York. So while in New York, now I was approached to be on 3 shows on the East Coast with the Mighty Diamonds, and that was a joy for me, because growing up I knew of Tabby, the lead singer of Mighty Diamonds. He's good friends with my father, Donovan Joseph. So I've always respected him. So to be on tour with these veterans and hearing them singing so much hits and knowing that I'm the one opening for them, and there's people actually in the crowd that came to see Autarchii.
Mm.
So that was one of my accomplishments to know that someone came up to me right after my performance and said, I have to leave now. So I'm like, you can't leave now. Mighty Diamonds didn't perform as yet. And that person looked at me and said, don't get it twisted. I love Mighty Diamonds, but I did not come here for Mighty Diamonds. I came here for you. And that to me has been one of the most thought-provoking things I've ever heard somebody said. So it's like that gave me a different type of motivation. So
Yeah.
opening for most of these artists is I must say it's an honor, and it's a great part of my journey that I'll always respect to, you know?
Yeah, amazing, definitely. And I mean, like on last week's radio show, we had Horace Andy and we had El China Smith
Yeah,
in the
listen.
yard. Yeah, yeah, you listen in, yeah? Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, what did you think of that performance, the Made in Jamaica? Like, oh, it's so moving, right?
Yeah, man, the vibes was nice too. 'Cause, you know, Earl China Smith, we grew around Earl China Smith to same way. Because my father was the manager for High Times Records, which Earl China Smith and him was the ones who were operating that too. So you know that's always a joy too, because watching in the inner the yard as a grassroots type of feeling to it that a lot of people need to see. I think inner the yard is kind of like a museum. It's just for them to really know it. Even that
Yeah.
same show that you're talking about, my father was the one who performed fourth on that show, Donovan Joseph too. So
Whoa,
it
whoa,
was a
whoa.
great it was a great vibes, you know.
Yeah, definitely. No, amazing. All right, so yeah, you're not just an artist; you're also known as like, a Black revolutionary, and you use your music to develop the community. I mean, you're the founder of Youth Today Scholarship, and also Entrepreneurship Meets Live Music, which is an event designed to boost self-reliance among Black youth, which is really beautiful. So please tell us a bit about that.
All right, so Youth Today Scholarship. Let me start with that one first. It was it
There's
was
a
an
lot.
initiative. I have a song called Youth Today. It's produced by Slimmer Sound Roots Tribe in Netherlands.
Yeah,
So after creating the song, I was like, I think this needs to be turned into a campaign. But then I saw some rise in some increase of violence in my community in Jamaica. So I decided to start a football competition along with a scholarship. And
yeah,
then this year, we just decided to continue the whole program so we could benefit as much students as we could, while not just giving them money, but actually allowing them to think, and they could actually do an essay that would show their thought process and show how much they cared for Jamaica. So it's not about just helping them financially, but helping them mentally to get mentally prepared to actually
mm,
give back to society. Because you can't just go one way, because a lot of people like to receive without giving. So Youth
sure.
Today Scholarship is teaching them that okay, you can get and you can give back also. While entrepreneurship means live music is just trying to formalize the hustle mentality of most youths in Jamaica. Because if have you ever been to Jamaica?
Yeah, man. Yeah, went for a month a couple of years ago now. I went to in the yard, and then I met El China Smith and everybody, and yeah, had an amazing time. It was great.
Yeah, you see, one thing you'll notice about Jamaica too, there's a high hustle culture. So there's always somebody trying to sell something for the
Yeah,
most part, because they have a lot of creativity and they have the entrepreneurial spirit. But most times it's just not formalized. So our organization is just to help them formalize that and realize that remember, music is the biggest commodity that ever came out of Jamaica. Nobody can
yeah,
debate that.
yeah.
And music is entrepreneurship. So we
Mm,
need to look at it from that light and realize how we can be our own bosses and how we can control the sphere while being within the confines of the law, so to speak, and things like that. So entrepreneurship means live music. Music is just about giving that strength to,
yeah, definitely. And what do you think like young people need? I mean, you said that you're trying to help people in the community and stuff, and like mentally and financially. Um, is there like a lack of love surrounding a lot of the young people you see that just need like that confidence to, like, I don't know, have that independence to move forward in a career?
Yeah, is that lack of love. I think there's a lot of self-esteem problem too, but many people don't. They try to cover it up with like that big sense of aggression when that
Mm,
aggression is not always necessary. So it's like we
yeah,
need to just relax, take things for what they really are, and make sure that we can just come together and as one and spread that unity, because that once that unity is there, we'll always strive. But I think often oftentimes we tend to fight against each other and always in that quarrel and that and some form of bad vibes rather than uniting. And once we have a unification and more love, we can conquer all things, because in Jamaica or across the world I've seen great people, but in Jamaica there's a lot of great people, but they just need to
Mm.
recognize their potential.
Yeah, exactly. And also, some people kind of, if they'll drop other people if they're not useful to them anymore and they don't maintain a relationship. I think it's really important, and something that's in Rastafari, in the community, is that you guys really look after each other and you keep in touch over many, many years. A lot of people around El Chin Smith, he's known for 40, 50 years, and that's like really beautiful. And you never know when you're going to need like a little bit of help from that person who has that bit of
Yeah.
knowledge, so that you shouldn't cut people off, and that's something we do too easily nowadays.
Exactly, that whole opportunist mindset, like sometimes even, or you see, even with me and you, sometimes if I just bless you up, I'll just send you a bless up, because
Yeah.
that's just how it be. I want to make sure you have a good day, but it's not just always about, okay, can I get an interview? Can I do this or can I do that? It's about being a human being,
Yeah,
appreciative of in what human beings have to offer. And yes, send somebody a nice greeting. So is your day going? So even some things like that, that's a starter point. Yeah,
amazing.
to
Yeah,
keeping connections and keeping foundation.
yeah, it goes a long way, man, definitely. Okay, so this is a bit of a point blank question you might not know the answer to, but how many songs have you written over the years?
I would say more than 200. Yeah,
Really?
probably.
Wow.
Yeah, probably more than 200. I'm a songwriter, because that's one of the things that I special. Even beyond just singing, I'm a songwriter. So I've written for other people before too. I'm a songwriter. That's I always, even if I don't write it down on paper, there's always lyrics and melody flowing through my head. So on a daily basis, I'll create even 2 to 5 songs, like just like that.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
I'm
So
obsessed with music. I'm like a
yeah.
music junkie. It's if that's the right terminology.
I am too, but like I think I'll write a cool little melody or a riff, and I'll be like, yeah, that's enough. And then I'm not very good at like forming the whole structure of a song.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I just like got loads of little bits of ideas, and then like eventually like a song comes out every 6 months. Like
But once you have that riff and the melody is there, the song is practically finished. Just fill it the
yeah.
rest.
Just banging the drums, no worries. Okay, so just picking a question. Yeah, so we mentioned a little bit about Donovan Joseph, your father, and also your cousin is Dennis Brown. So tell me a bit about like your upbringing and how Rastafarianism was there and music was always there, and your experiences.
Yeah, so my upbringing I must say it's a great one, because growing up with my mother and father, it was a balance of soul, and I really give thanks for that. Give thanks to have good parents and give thanks to have a good upbringing, regardless of certain things taking place in the environment. And as it relates to Rastafari, even Dennis Brown, knowing that Dennis Brown was my cousin from an early age, I saw what was taking place. Like see how people across the world just love Dennis Brown, and trying to think back to certain times when my father was giving me story about Dennis Brown too. And no, because Dennis Brown died when I was around 5, 6.
Wow.
So I didn't really get to know him personally like that same way. But it's been in music is a thing that has spawned from the bloodline, because even my great grandfather was a singer. That's Dennis Brown's grandfather too. So it's a whole family vibration in regards to singing. And as it relates to Rastafari, since a tender age, I've always been around Rastafari hydrants and sisterins, seeing how
Mm.
exemplary they are, how they always greet you with love, how they always look out for one another, how they always ensure that as Africans, we have the African identity instilled within us. So it's like after a time even when I was losing my way and probably going astray, I was
Mm.
not thinking about it. But once I started receiving the knowledge, I realized it was always there, and it was
Yeah.
inside of me. So I just use the example of the elders plus the knowledge I gain and just build upon that. So Rastafari take a strong stance in my life.
Yeah, definitely. And it's interesting what you say about like inheriting something from your dad, because I've seen like really successful musicians have kids and they're like putting a video on their phone of their kid like playing the drums like
Yeah.
well, like playing well when they're like 2.5, 3 years old. And they're like, oh, my kid's amazing. I can't believe this. And it's just like, of course, because it's come from you, man. You spent your whole life in music and you just had
Yeah.
a baby. Like your baby's gonna be there with you, you know. So
Real
you're like
talk.
that.
Real talk, because that's just how the thing going on. We have to realize that certain things are destiny and we can't run away from certain destiny. If we run away from
Yeah,
destiny, it's like we will always lose. You know, Raging Fire have a song say you're running, if you run from yourself, you'll lose too. Which
yeah.
is a good message to always tell to people. Don't run from yourself. If this is who you are, just embrace it and make sure that it can have a positive effect on people across the world, you know?
Yeah, definitely. So also like Wayne Slingtang Smith mentored you from the age of 17. So what kind of things was he teaching you about the music world?
Yeah, so Wayne Smith, one of the man who built the first dancehall rhythm too. So that's it was a pleasure being around him because he was a great tutor. He taught me a lot of ins and outs of the music, and he taught one thing that can stand out to me. He said to me, Autarchii, I've been in music for more than 30 years, and I've loved music endlessly. Make sure you can go longer than me. That's one thing he told me. Make sure you can go longer than me. So he taught me how to even have feelings in the music too, besides my father teaching me that directly in the studio. Wayne Smith told me to have feelings in the music. Make
Yeah.
sure when I sing, I sang with, because one of the things that I was doing at the beginning, I would start off the song flat, not really have feelings. Then in the middle of the song, I would pick up the feelings, and he would always stop me in the middle of the recording and said, "No, you're singing. Come again." You have to start over almost every single recording. Come again. Now you're singing. He always used to curse me. Why are you feeling the song in the middle? You should feel it from the 1 second. You should feel the song straight until the end. I recorded an entire album for him that was never released. And he
Really?
died unfortunately. So that goes already.
Oh wow. So what is the have you still got the recordings or is it lost?
No, because it was a sudden death too, and I wasn't. He was in Jamaica while I was in New York too, and that time we weren't extremely professional with every single thing, so we didn't know that we should keep studio sessions and stuff like that. But over the years, we learned how to become more professional. I think it was more of a learning experience for me,
Mm.
and to be amongst a great man, so I could become a cornerstone in the music later on and have that experience. Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. So who else has been an inspiration to you on your journey?
That's a long list, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Just
I inspiration on this journey is not it's even beyond music, to be
yeah.
honest. It's about family, it's about people who inspire, and it's about people who play a positive role. It's about people who are down pressed. It's about all about humanity, because this journey has so much different angles that I could approach that question so much different ways. But
Yeah,
just to
yeah.
keep it in a short and spicy way, it's all about life and humanity and a whole.
Yeah, definitely. So you've done it a few times already. You've like given me words of wisdom, and I was just thinking, like when I was in Jamaica, whenever I meet Rastas, like you could be walking down the street, and a guy comes up with a guitar and starts singing, or you could jump in a cab and the taxi driver just starts, telling you how to better your life and how to
Yeah.
like live in harmony and it's just like yeah, that's a big thing in Jamaica, which I love. Like people give you
True.
wisdom and advice. So, do you? What's some of the good advice you've been given, and like that you'd like to share with our listeners, maybe?
Well, there's a lot of different good advice too, because if I can even take it to my parents too, my mother always tell me what you put in is what you get out.
Mm,
And we follow that straight through life. And then my father always told me that everything can share. Nothing is too small to share. So we've always used those principles, and carried that principle throughout life. And while in Jamaica, they always tell you one cocoa full basket. That's a Jamaican proverb. So we've
mm,
always used that proverb to kind of govern our life, realizing that I've done this now. What's next for me to accomplish? And make sure I maintain the morality in this accomplishment. And I will eventually strive and reach my destination, you know. So those are a few of the things, because living in Jamaica, there's a lot of life lessons that one can get, but those are just a few of them.
Yeah, that's great, man. That's inspired me. I'm going to put it on the wall. Um, so I know, like, when it was a few years ago now, you did your tour of Canada. You did 2 weeks out there for your debut album. I mean, like, at that time, you also got an award, Reggae Exclusive magazine. So that was for the new voice in reggae. So tell me about, like, how that experience and how that felt.
Yeah, that was great too, because I was coming out the blocks the real way, because I've been singing professionally from like 2012, but I think 2017 kind of solidified who Autarchii was, really and truly, like that debut album. Because an album gives a different feel of an artist. If an artist can do an entire project and the project is up to standard, then people will take you extremely serious. Okay, this is who you are. So while there, my first time actually on the road, I didn't know what to expect. But when I went to Canada and received that award along with every single thing else that I was doing, I know that, okay, music, I love you and I need to make sure I stay on this path, because this is just the first of many great things to happen. So it was an honor receiving that. I received it in Toronto, to be specific. So we started from Montreal, we went to Ottawa and went straight through to Toronto.
Yeah. Wicked, wicked. That's really cool, man. So, I mean, I know, like, you've had some experience in the music industry now, being on tour and releasing music. Have you met any heroes that you were like really like happy to meet and that like blew you away? And have you met anybody that you found like they've lost their way and you were disappointed?
All right, there's two ways to answer this too. There's a diplomatic way and there's a next way too. But how would I say it now? In regards to heroes that I've met along the way, most of the elders that I respect highly, I actually grew up knowing a lot of them, because I said
Yeah,
my father is deep within the music, so I know a lot of the heroes along the way too.
nice.
That's inside the music we're talking about.
Mm.
And how would I say now? In regards to disappointment, there's a lot of disappointment, believe me, because before being deep rooted in music, I didn't know that there was a lot of different corruption taking place, and there was a lot of entertainers who put one thing on the forefront, but then if you saw them in person, it was a whole different life. So getting used to all of that and trying to wrap that around my head, I'm still in that process. So, I'm really still in that process, but we just have to realize that everybody have a role to play, everybody have a mission to fulfill, and my mission, I just try my best to focus on my mission. And I like to say that my hero, so to speak, is my future self, as opposed to it being an external person. Because
Mm.
once I can improve myself and continue evolving in the best way that I can impact humanity, I think that's the ultimate hero that I should seek and desire to be, as
Mm.
opposed to having an external hero.
Yeah. And like, do you believe in fate? Is that part of Rastafari culture, or is it like you believe? I mean, you obviously mentioned that what you put in, you get back. Is it like a balance between the two?
I would say faith is a major part of the thing too, because when you say faith without works, that's dead. So we
Yeah,
make sure that the faith comes with works, because if the faith is just faith cannot stand on its own. So
yeah,
that's one of my philosophy. I have a lot of faith, because sometimes I will be just sitting right here and things are going regular, it's going mild, and I just think to myself, I need to have faith and this thing will pull through. And by tomorrow morning, bam, when I look,
Hmm.
that mission pulled through. But it's that mission pulled through because of the works that I was doing.
Mm.
So it wasn't just blind faith. If you have blind faith, then you won't be as successful as you want to be. But once that faith is mixed with works, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, when I was traveling, I felt like because I went to a lot of different countries to do the radio show, and I
Mm-hmm.
felt like I was in tune with exactly where I was supposed to be at the time. It was like I'll turn up at the train station and they'll go, "I'll quickly jump on this train. It's the last one for 3 days." Or I turn up in Hawaii and say, "My friend has told me to meet this man who does reggae music," and they'll go, "I know him. He'll be here tonight." And it's just like without making plans, like I was just there. Like it was beautiful, and I love that feeling that you're like, this is, this is meant to be. It's cool.
And you see, that was all due to the works too, because if you didn't put yourself in the position for it to happen, it wouldn't happen. You
Yeah,
see,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
faith with like an open eye. So you're trying to travel there and you travel and trying to keep yourself open. You went on the road to make sure that the show could have different variety. And the
Mm.
variety had to be there because you made an effort.
Yeah. Or I could have been back in England working in the supermarket. So, all right. So, just getting oh, yeah. I really want to ask you about your experience in Kenya.
One of the most beautiful experience I've ever had in life. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think I can find, no matter how much my vocabulary is high
Mm.
or how vivid my expressions are, I still cannot express it ultimately because I've always wanted to go to Africa.
Yeah,
I always say that I've been there spiritually, That's where I'm from. But
yeah.
I've always wanted to be there physically. And when I went and once I reached on the soil, it was like a different feeling. One of the first time I landed, I thought I was in Jamaica.
Yeah.
I really thought I was in Jamaica because I'm like the people, the same vibes, the same energy. And then the thing is, I don't think I've gotten love to this day, like from anybody else, like what I've gotten love from East Africans
Mm.
in particular, Africa overall, but in East Africa, that's where the most of my supporters come from because once Autarchii releases a song, they see that song as prophetic. And
Yeah,
to
okay.
me, that's really inspirational to me. And that's one of my biggest drive and motivation. So being in Kenya, seeing all of those different type of energies and those type of love, I must say that I will be there again soon.
Yeah, yeah, man, definitely. And like, so what were the shows like over there? Were they just crazy?
Yeah, so it was mainly one main show.
Yeah.
Main show with Autarchii as the headliner and also like around 20 different interviews. So we did a whole stream of interviews, both on live TV, radio, um, different interaction with the people. We There was also community works too where we planted trees at a health center and then all of that was leading up to the main show, which I thought it was the headliner for, and it was a great show because after performing for an hour and a half, the people still wanted more too. So we give thanks for that.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
And the band was nice too. I think the band's name is When Band. They were nice too. They felt every single thing. And we rehearsed for 1 week. So with 1 week of rehearsal and over like 15 to 16 songs, like that's tremendous.
Yeah, man, definitely. Okay, so coming up next, you've got like an album set to come out next year. On your own. Is it on your own record label?
Yeah,
Red
my label is Red Music Group.
Red Music
That's
Group.
that was started from 2017, so right after the release of my first album. My first album was not on the label, but right after that, I decided to start my record label.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
hopefully the album can release 2021. If not, we will actually put like an EP or something in the works because we always like to have bodies of work for the people. Really and truly, I want to tour this album. I want people to get this album physically, and direct in their presence. Right now, one of the songs that will be on the album for sure is Black Beauty, which is the song that is
Oh yeah,
being
we've been playing it on the show.
we give thanks. That song currently I'm also grateful that it's receiving so much love. It's receiving so much love and I'm grateful for that. So I think that will motivate me and push me and my team also to ensure that the album is released. And I know the people have been waiting for the second album, so we won't disappoint. We won't
Yeah.
disappoint at all.
Nice, man. Nice. All right. Well, where can people get hold of your music? Where can they listen and buy merch and like get in contact with you?
All right, so people can find me on social media or they can find Autarchii anywhere at all. Let's type in Autarchii. Let me say that again.
Mhm.
Autarchii on all digital platforms and all social media. I also have my website, autarchii.com. We have also the team, Red Music Group on Instagram. So any one of these places, Autarchii. I think I'm the only person in the world with that name, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah.
you can't miss it. Autarchii. And the next show that will be on that a lot of people can look out for, it's the 32nd anniversary of King Tubby's. I think
Yeah.
since King Tubby's passing, that will be a major show streamed live from King Jammy's studio in Jamaica to on March 27, 2021 too. So that will be a great one too. Will a lineup that's spectacular with Loot and Fire, Turbulence, and a lot more people too.
Excellent, man. Yeah, really looking forward to that. I'll definitely tell the listeners to keep their ears peeled for that, and yeah, really looking forward to it. All right, well, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, and thank you so much for joining us today. And one love.
And much thanks and respect every time, Paul. I really give thanks for the energy and the strength too, you know?
No worries, man. Yeah, big love. Take care.
Love and honor.
Bye.
Bless up.
Hey guys, DJ Paula Frost here from Way Out Radio, the one and only punk and reggae station, broadcasting every week. Go to wayoutradio.com for more. So I just want to tell you guys about the brand new fan club we've just launched. It's absolutely amazing. You can choose from contributing £5, £10 or £20 per month to keep the station alive, pay our guests handsomely, and keep music money in the musician's pocket and in the punk world and in the reggae world. So find out more about that at wayoutradio.com. Thank you very much.